People are starting to think I have an agenda. I do not have an agenda. I want what is best for my club, and my club is acting like a clown. Todd Boehly is acting, if he makes this deal happen, like a clown. First of all, people seem to forget what they want to see in the long term, what they want to see in terms of long-term building. As soon as a name is thrown in their face that they like, that they want on the back of a shirt, that they've been standing like a stand base for years. Now listen, this is a legend, this is one of the GOATs, this is an all-time great, this is an incredible footballer, was an incredible footballer in Cristiano Ronaldo, but we've just signed a striker in Aubameyang last summer who needs service, and he's struggling. Why? Because we don't have enough creativity. Why? Because he, as a footballer, is fairly limited and cannot create his own chances or cannot do something out of nothing. He relies upon the players around him, a Reece James, so to speak, that is now injured. So what do Chelsea think is the perfect solution in the January transfer window, no matter how short-term the contract, no matter what the transfer fee or lack of because of the free agents that he's just picked up, Ronaldo, after leaving Manchester United? No matter what the shirt sells, they believe he is the solution in the last 6 months, potentially even a 6-month deal for the rest of the season to try and get top four. Not creativity, not sorting out the midfield. Let's go and bring in Ronaldo. Okay, let's dig deep into this, right? We all saw the interview. Ronaldo feels like he can help. He feels like he can do more so than what is being shown on the football pitch potentially when he plays for Manchester United. A Manchester United team that actually looked better without him this season, and I maintain that. A Manchester United team that had all of his goals last season that people crave and talk about and say you need 18 goals. What would happen if you didn't have Ronaldo? Well, we're seeing what would happen, and the team is performing better as it did the year before and is looking like it could actually pip us to top four. But Chelsea, of course, need a goal scorer, and that only. If we had goals, then we would be just fine. But yet, when you bring him into the team is not playing as well, Manchester United-wise. Okay, makes sense. So let's just say we're going to get him for 6 months. We're going to bring in another ego, because he has got an ego, whether you like it or not. He has got an ego. He very clearly shown that in the interview, very clearly with the sensitivity levels that he has with the criticism that he gets. Of course, he's not completely in the wrong. I thought Manchester United handled his situation over the summer quite poorly in terms of why he was late to pre-season. He has every right to be aggrieved and angry with that football club. But you can see that the ego is there. You can see that anybody who gives him the smallest ounce of criticism, he doesn't take it well. Hence why blanking his former teammates, etc. So we're going to now go to Potter, a Potter that is not convinced by this signing. So we're already saying that we shouldn't back our new manager that we just gave a 5-year deal. We're going to go against the grain, a Chelsea that is meant to be bringing in scouts and recruitment staff because we want to recruit better, but then we're getting a big name that we would never need to scout anyway because he suits the system. No, he doesn't. In fact, he doesn't suit the system. So why are we bringing him in? Because we want to sell shirts. Oh, we want to be the next Manchester United, the commercial club, the Glazers. We want to be selling shirts. We want to be improving social media numbers. Okay, so we're signing him and he's not improving the system because he's not part of Potter's plans, because he doesn't help us play better football on or off the ball. He won't press. He won't help us in possession. He won't help us with creativity. He needs service, but we're going to bring him in anyway. And does he suit Potter? Oh, no, he doesn't. Because Potter likes to change formation quite often. He likes his forwards to sometimes come out wide. He wants his forward to be able to do a multitude of things. A reason why Nkunku makes sense. But Ronaldo is a static striker who stays within the box and doesn't really offer much in general play anymore in comparison to a player like Nkunku. But we're going to bring him in anyway. And then you're going to tell me he can be benched for an Aubameyang, or I don't really understand how that's meant to work. You sign 2 over 30-year-olds even for the rest of the season. One of them is going to be upset. Their ego, can they handle being on the bench? Well, it would appear not. It would appear that they can't handle being on the bench. They feel disrespected. Ronaldo, when he's on the bench, when he's not playing consistently, he feels disrespected. So that puts more pressure on Potter, the manager that we've just given a 5-year contract. But it's fine, he's got emotional intelligence degree, so he should be able to handle it. But that means Ronaldo has to start a lot of games. So that means the way we play is to facilitate Ronaldo for the rest of the season, even though we're meant to be actually trying to put down a philosophy, play a better style of football, and actually progress under a manager. Regardless of whether we make top 4, we're meant to be seeing a better style. We're meant to be seeing what his plan is. Okay, but we're scrapping that for 6 months because we want top 4, because we want to take the short-term route. Again, the same Chelsea that everybody criticised for always thinking short-term, not long-term. That's why we keep getting into this mess. We're going to waste another 6 months. Okay, cool. Because commercial club, okay. 50% off in the bios and whatnot. Cool. So I'm starting to understand now. So that's what people want. That's what you guys want. That's what people want now. They want to focus on the short term. You want to service a player that's not going to be here more than 6 months because you want top four that badly, even though he probably won't even secure you top four, like they didn't secure top four last season at Manchester United, because it's not a given. Just because you sign Ronaldo, it's not a given, especially in a team that struggles to create chances. Yeah, he'll be clinical, I have no doubts he'll score more goals than Aubameyang, but if you don't create that many chances per game, and you're not even in the top 6 for chances created this season, that sounds like another frustrated striker that's limited once again up front, putting his arms up in the air. Okay, cool. And of course, the mentality of the team that Ronaldo's been talking about at Manchester United, the mentality, the players that he's working with, that he's not impressed by because they don't have the levels of professionalism that he's used to. This is the same Chelsea team that have, so many great mentalities? I'm sure Ronaldo's going to love playing with our team. We've seen great mentality from this team at times this season, haven't we? Yeah. This team has a bunch of mentality monsters. So that's definitely an environment that makes sense for Ronaldo. A winner is going to be now, trying to joust for top four, losing some games 3-0, getting walked over by Arsenal. I'm sure Ronaldo would have helped in that Arsenal defeat where we couldn't even get the ball. I'm sure he would have helped against Manchester City when they lost 6-3. According to Roy Keane. And let's not even bring up Pochettino, who struggled with all those egos at PSG because they tried to fill it with Galacticos, or they wanted to chase something. Instead of actually trying to build a team in the image of a manager, they decided to go with Messi, Neymar and Mbappe. Did it get them the Champions League? Did it get them their target? Not yet. Maybe this season. But I'm sure Chelsea will get their target based on short-term thinking, I'm sure. And shout out to all the recruitment staff as well. So maybe we'll bring in Ronaldo and bring in other players as well. And even still, we're still trying to shoehorn him into the team and facilitate only for him, instead of actually putting the responsibility on the other players and making them step up, like a Rashford has, like a Anthony has. We're going to have those players probably retract into a shell and only look up to Ronaldo, because they know if they don't give him the ball, he's going to get frustrated, and they're probably going to start to produce lower levels. And that's surprising, because I don't think it can get much worse for a lot of these attackers. But I'm sure when they're expected to take a shot, they're going to shit themselves and pass to Ronaldo instead. Build your team and facilitate your team towards someone who's declining, aging, has an ego, but hasn't got the ability still to carry a team at the top level. That sounds like a really good idea. I would be up for it if it was prime Hazard, but that sounds like a great idea. And like I said, this is all part of the manager's plan. You're not going against him whatsoever. I'm sure we're going to make top four. And if we don't make top four, what did we get out of this exactly? Oh, you got a new shirt. Great. I'm happy for you. Brilliant. Is it going to help us get closer to the Champions League winning that? Probably not, considering, there's just better teams, aren't there? Teams that actually play as a team. Okay, I'm starting to understand here now. Okay, makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. If we go through with this, we're a bunch of idiots. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah. Also, I've seen that Mason Mount potentially is having some issues with his contract. $300,000 a week for him, because potentially Jude Bellingham and Rice would get $300K a week as well if they were to join Chelsea. Reported by Matt Law, I believe. If you're going to have a midfield free, which is the same midfield free we saw against Iran, on $900K a week, I would assume that midfield is Premier League winning level. I would assume that midfield is capable of winning the Premier League, and we do not have to touch that midfield ever again. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. If you assemble that midfield three and they're all on $300,000 a week, it better win the league and be able to win it quite a lot of times. And of course, the rest of the team needs to have quality around. But I'm just saying, I don't want to ever have to talk about the midfield again if that is what transpires. Them wages are wild. I don't think any of those players, by the way, deserve those wages. Not Bellingham, not Rice, not Mount. But that is insane. But yeah, that's all I'll say about that. And Cuckoo seems to be done. The player that actually makes sense in the way that we play. The player that is actually on the rise, that's on form, that's can play part of a team. That looks good, despite the injury. But it seems like Chelsea doctors are keeping a close eye on things and they're monitoring him very closely. Hopefully, the injury's not too bad, and we're a little bit worried about it because I think we've got PTSD from signing players that have come off of an injury that's not looking too good for Fana, etc. But hopefully it goes okay. And Rice, seems to be available for around £70 million. That fee is, I'm going to tell you right now, That's a good fee for Declan Rice. I don't think he's a bad player at all. I think he's a very good player. He has certain aspects of his game that I think he'll need to learn or he'll need to improve, but I think he's a very, very good player. He will bring leadership and mentality into this team that is lacked. Wasn't my first choice, but to be fair, at that price, could become, because you have a lot of intangibles that are needed. Plus, you do have a good footballer. People like to say that he's terrible at football, but he's not. Great switcher of play of both feet. Very good at reading danger. Actually, a decent shooter from range, etc. But not the perfect player, and probably will be put under too much pressure like a Mason Mount, and then overrated and over-criticised and all that shit. But we will try to remain level-headed on this channel in terms of that. Yeah, I think I've covered everything. I'll let you decide what you think is right and wrong in this video in the comments down below. Subscribe, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Peace.